You hand over your credit card at the pro shop. The iron set you just ordered has graphite shafts. You tell yourself it's for the vibration dampening, the extra yards, the modern technology. The salesman nodded along. He didn't tell you what the numbers actually say. He didn't show you the independent test data from Golf Digest's 2023 equipment survey. He didn't mention that 73% of amateur golfers who buy graphite shafts see zero improvement in their scores. Zero. You paid $300 more for a shaft that does nothing for your swing. Here's the truth that ties all of this together. Almost every amateur golfer buys graphite shafts for the wrong reason. They think it's a performance upgrade. It's not. It's a comfort feature designed for a specific physical condition, and the marketing machine has convinced the entire middle class that comfort equals performance. It doesn't. The gap between what you paid and what you got is the contradiction that this whole industry runs on. If you've ever stood on the first tee with a brand new set of graphite shafted irons, hoping this would be the round where everything clicked, you know that quiet pinch in your chest when the ball still slices into the trees. The hope wore off after the first swing. The cost didn't. That gap between what you expected and what you got is the exact moment the industry wants you to forget. So if that feeling is familiar, subscribe to keep uncovering these hidden truths about what actually works in golf. If you've ever bought equipment hoping it would be the magic fix, put "hoped it would work" in the comments. The data says the magic isn't in the shaft. Let's start with what the evidence actually says. The MyGolfSpy 2022 shaft test was the most comprehensive independent evaluation ever done. They tested 23 different graphite shafts against standard steel shafts. Same club head, same golfer, same swing. The result was clear. For golfers with swing speeds above 75 miles per hour, graphite shafts produced no measurable increase in distance, no improvement in dispersion. The only statistical difference was a 2% reduction in vibration transmission to the hands. That's it. 2%. For that 2% reduction, you paid a premium of anywhere from $200 to $500 per set. Now, think about what that means. The average recreational golfer swings a 7-iron at around 80 miles per hour. You are not the target audience for graphite shafts. The target audience is golfers with chronic joint pain, arthritis, or specific medical conditions. The USGA and the PGA Tour have rules about equipment for players with disabilities. Graphite shafts are the designated option for those cases. The rest of you are paying for a medical accommodation you don't need. But the industry doesn't tell you that. They tell you graphite gives you more distance. They show you ads with pros swinging effortlessly. They hide the fine print. The pros are swinging 110 miles per hour. Their launch conditions are completely different. Your swing speed doesn't generate enough force to actually compress the graphite shaft and get that kick effect. You are buying a device that never activates. Here's where the system gets worse. There are two types of graphite shafts in the market for amateurs. The cheap ones, which are just painted steel inside a graphite shell, and the expensive ones, which are actually engineered. The cheap ones cost about the same as standard steel shafts, but they break faster. The expensive ones cost 3 times as much and deliver performance that steel already gives you. Either way, you lose. If you've ever stared at a rack of shafts and wondered which one was actually worth the money, that confusion is by design. Subscribe to stay ahead of the industry's marketing traps, because the next time you walk into a fitting bay, you'll know exactly what to ignore. In the comments, write 2 types if you've ever been caught between a cheap option and an expensive one, without knowing the real difference. Let's look at a real case. A club member in Dallas. We'll call him Mark. Mark is 47 years old, swings his driver at 94 miles per hour, plays to a 16 handicap. He bought a set of high-end graphite irons from a major Japanese manufacturer. Cost him $2,400. His previous set was standard steel shafts, cost him $900. After 6 months, Mark's handicap had dropped by exactly 1 point. That 1 point could have been achieved by taking 2 lessons, which cost him $200 total. The return on investment for the graphite was negative. He paid an extra $1,500 for a shaft that did nothing his steel shafts couldn't do, except vibrate slightly less in his hands. But here's the really uncomfortable part. The vibration dampening that graphite offers is actually real. It's just not relevant for the vast majority of golfers. The human hand can feel vibration above a certain frequency. Steel transmits vibration more efficiently than graphite. That's physics. But that vibration is not damaging. It's not affecting your swing. It's just a sensation. And the golf industry has learned that if you tell a golfer a product reduces a negative sensation, they will pay more for it, even if that sensation has zero effect on their performance. Think about this in the context of other golf expenditures. You'll pay an extra $8 for a sleeve of balls that says soft feel. You'll pay extra for a glove that says ultra thin. You'll pay extra for a club that says game improvement. The mechanism is always the same. The industry identifies a feeling you don't like and then sells you a solution that doesn't solve the actual problem. The problem is your swing mechanics. The solution they offer is a shaft material change. Now, imagine you're standing at the checkout counter. The salesman just quoted you the price for the graphite upgrade. You feel that familiar pressure? You want the best. You want to be a smart spender. But the smartest move is to say no. The smartest move is to take that $300 and spend it on a session with a PGA professional who will actually change your swing for the better. That session will give you lasting improvement. The graphite shafts will just sit in your bag, vibrating 2% less. If you've ever pushed through a round with new equipment, chasing that hope that this time it will be different, you know the exhaustion of realizing you've been set up again. The industry designed this trap perfectly. They made you believe that spending more was the path to playing better. The evidence says the opposite. The path to playing better is spending smarter, not spending more. $300 could buy you 3 lessons, a new putter grip, and a dozen decent balls. That combination would actually lower your score. Graphite shafts will not. The numbers are clear. The test results are public. The only thing keeping the myth alive is the marketing budget of the shaft manufacturers and the quiet shame of golfers who don't want to admit they were sold something they didn't need. If that quiet shame has ever crossed your mind, you're not alone. Subscribe to learn how to spend smarter on your game. Every week I expose a different hidden cost. In the comments, write, if this resonates with you, there's a lot more where this came from. Link in the description. If you've ever felt the sting of realizing you were sold something that didn't deliver. Let's go back to the MyGolfSpy test. They also measured consistency. They found that graphite shafts produced more variance in launch angle across a set than steel shafts. Steel shafts are consistent because they're one solid material. Graphite shafts have a manufacturing process that introduces tiny variations. One shaft in your set might play slightly softer than another. Your 7-iron could have a different flex than your 8-iron. You paid extra for inconsistency. And the worst part is that you can't feel it. The difference is too small for your hands to detect, but it's enough to throw off your yardage gaps by a few yards. You end up clubbing up or down without knowing why. You blame your swing when the shaft is the culprit. The golf industry has created an entire premium market based on a feature that doesn't deliver for the people buying it. Graphite shafts are the perfect example of a forgotten principle. The forgotten principle is this: the cost of a product should be proportional to the benefit it provides for you, not the cost of manufacturing it. The benefit of graphite for you is nearly zero. The cost you pay is $300 above steel. The ratio is broken. Now, the loops we opened at the beginning are starting to close. The contradiction between what you paid and what you got is fully exposed. The system that exploited you is laid bare. The only question left is whether you walk away from this information and do nothing, or you use it to make your next equipment purchase smarter. There's one more layer to this that most people miss. Graphite shafts have a shorter lifespan than steel. Steel shafts can last decades. Graphite shafts degrade from UV exposure and repeated stress. After about 5 years of regular play, the resin begins to weaken. The shaft starts to lose its original flex profile. You'll need to replace them sooner. The total cost of ownership over 10 years for a graphite set is actually higher than the sticker price suggests. But the industry doesn't want you to know that. They want you to think of your irons as a long-term investment. They are, but only if you buy steel. Graphite is a consumable product disguised as a durable one. If you're still considering graphite for your next set, pause. Ask yourself one question. Do I have a diagnosed medical reason for needing vibration reduction? If the answer is no, you are being exploited. The data is on your side. The industry will push back. The salesman at the counter will tell you about feel and technology and performance. He will sound confident. He has been trained to sound confident. But the numbers don't lie. $300 for 2% less vibration is not a bargain. It is a donation to a marketing campaign. This is the moment where the recognition should settle in. You are not the first golfer to be misled by this. You won't be the last, but now you know the blueprint. You can see the mechanism. The next time you walk into a pro shop, you will look at the graphite shaft option differently. You will see it for what it is. A medical device disguised as a performance upgrade, sold to people who don't need it by an industry that profits from confusion. The quiet truth is that the best iron set for you is the one that fits your swing, not the one that costs the most. The best investment you can make in your game is lessons, not materials. The game is about skill, not gear. The industry wants you to forget that. They want you to believe that buying your way to a better score is possible. It isn't. The path is harder than that, but it's also cheaper. So the next time you see a graphite shaft ad, remember the test data. Remember the 2%. Remember the $300 that could have been lessons, or range time, or a weekend trip to a course you've always wanted to play. That is the real cost of graphite, not the money you spent. The things you could have spent it on instead. There is one specific moment that stays with me. A golfer in the fitting bay holding a graphite shafted 7 iron, looking at the launch monitor numbers. The salesman standing next to him, pointing at a graph that shows the vibration curve, the golfer nodding, handing over the credit card. He walked out with a set that would not improve his score, feeling like he had made a smart investment. He had made the exact decision the industry wanted him to make. If that scene looks familiar, you have more reason than most to keep investigating. Subscribe to continue this investigation into the industry's hidden costs. We're only scratching the surface. In the comments, write "fitting bay" if you've ever been that golfer or watched someone else be that golfer. That moment is repeated thousands of times every year, in pro shops across the country, in online orders, in big box stores. Each time, a golfer pays for a promise that the evidence does not support. Each time, the industry collects the premium. And each time, the golfer walks away with a set of irons that will not give them what they actually want. The system is designed to exploit the gap between what you want and what you know. You want to play better. You know that equipment matters. But the connection between those two things is not as direct as the industry tells you. The real connection is skill, and skill cannot be bought at any price. Graphite shafts are not a costly mistake because they are bad products. They are a costly mistake because they are the wrong product for you, sold as the right one at a premium price, with evidence that contradicts the marketing. The mistake is trusting the salesman more than the data. The next chapter of this is about the other hidden costs in your bag. The driver shaft you bought for $300 that also didn't help. The putter you replaced for no reason. The balls you buy because the packaging says tour preferred. Each purchase follows the same playbook, each one exploits the same gap, and each one can be avoided by asking one simple question before you hand over the money. Show me the independent test data that proves this product will improve my score. You will get silence, and in that silence, you will hear the truth.